Hi, you guys. Look, I said since I'm going to do a vlogmas, it looks like I'm going to sit here on the couch because I get so cold, you guys. Can y'all hear me? Make sure you can hear me. If not, I will move. Do I look really grainy? If so, I'm going to move to the table. But clearly today it's a lazy vlogmas. I feel like my camera looks very grainy. Is it grainy to y'all? Let me know. Let me know if it looks grainy. Hello, can y'all hear me and see me? I have my headphones in. I can take my headphones out. I come on here a little early just to check for technical difficulties. Do I look clear on your end? I can go sit at the table and turn on the light and then look like, oh, what do you think, you guys? Can you hear me? Yes, grainy, or yes, hear me and see me? Tell me which ones, you guys. As y'all come in, let me know. Can you hear me and see me clearly? I feel like the camera is not beautiful. I will move and turn the lights on and all that if you think so. I have headphones in. Hopefully you can hear me and see me clearly. Let's work out all clear and hear you. Okay, good. Good, 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 good. If it I can see you just fine. The audio is good too. Perfect. Thank you, you guys. Y'all, when you come early, baby, you the setup crew. You got to help set up, make sure everything is working correctly, right? So good. Okay, if anything changes, you guys, let me know. I'll take the headphones out. I'll go sit at the table. I'll be professional. You know what I mean? So it's kind of, well, we got 1 minute. I brought my headphones over. Y'all, so my letters went out. I mailed this morning. Welcome, everybody. I'll do a little introduction shortly here as people start coming in and getting the alert. I mailed my letters, you guys. I mail every single week, right? And so somebody just sorry. So somebody just texted me, you guys, and was like, I just got your letter in the mail. Call me back. I'm like, yes. So everybody who asks me, because a lot of people, say like direct mail, snail mail, mailing is dead. Y'all know I have mailed for the last 3 years. Every single week. I have not missed a week, and it works for me. But anything you do consistently works. Let me say that. Anything you do consistently works. So if you're going to text, if you're going to cold call, if you're going to door knock, if you're going to mail, you know what I mean? Anything you do consistently works. But anyway, I told him I was about to go into a meeting with y'all and I would call him as soon as I get out of the meeting. So I sent your first round of your letters and homeowner. What? Yes! I'm reading Bay Area Real Estate Today. I sent your first round of letters and a homeowner contacted me. He's been behind on payments since 2018. And he has a foreclosure attorney that is working on moving the December 12th. Whew. Can you imagine what that past due balance is if you haven't paid since 2018? Can you imagine how much? Part 2, the mortgage company. So yes, I'm reading his comments. For people, if you're watching the replay and trying to catch on to what I'm talking about, I'm reading one of the comments in the chat. So part 2, the mortgage company is not taking his payments. So yes, people who work with foreclosures, I tell people this in the mentorship, there will come a time where a homeowner is so far into foreclosure, right? Auction has been scheduled. It is what it is at this point, right? The mortgage company or their lender or the bank will not take a partial payment anymore. They will not take their monthly payment. They won't take it. They will send it back to them. I've had people say, I sent the bank my monthly payment and they sent it back to me. There's a point where they say, we don't want any partial payments. If you can't pay the entire amount, we don't want any of it. You've got to pay the entire amount. So yes, that is true. Tell people that. If you're working with people in foreclosure, I think it makes you look a little bit more knowledgeable too. I always try to look knowledgeable, expert. You aren't my first rodeo. You know what I mean? And I'll tell people, the bank won't take a partial payment. They want that entire amount. So be prepared for that. He can't get another forbearance or another modification. I believe his only option is to sell or file bankruptcy. Sell or file bankruptcy. Once you get so far into that process, and I say this a lot of times, like a lot of homeowners, no shade, and I'm not being insensitive, a lot of homeowners have lost credibility with the bank, right? You keep telling the bank, you keep promising, I'm going to pay, or I'm going to send you a payment, or I'm going to do this, and then you don't. And a lot of people, the bank is like, we done. We done. I had that happen to me with a lady who called me. I tell the story all the time. I know my stories start to run together. Called me the day of her auction. Called me the day of her auction. Her auction was like in 2 hours. And I called the bank. I knew the president of the bank. Called him. And he was like, sorry, Ashley. He was like, sorry, Ashley. He was like, we've already got it scheduled. The attorney has already processed it. It's already up for auction. Like, he was like, I owe you one, but this one is not stopping, right? We had tried to call that lady for the last year, and she has ignored our phone calls, ignored emails, ignored her mail. She going up for auction, and they auctioned off that lady house. Auctioned it off. I was on the phone with her. It was not my auction, but I knew the guy who bought it from auction, and all I could do was put them in contact with each other. I was like, this is the guy who just bought your house. And she's crying on the phone, y'all, crying. She's like, what am I going to tell my kids when they get home? I'm like, ma'am, kids? Like, how do you wait till the day of your auction? But that's the thing with, okay, first of all, because I don't ever like to sound insensitive, people needed help during COVID, right? People needed help. Jobs disappeared. You didn't have money, right? But there's also the flip side to that, right? When people don't have to pay, sometimes people get comfortable not paying, right? And then when there are no consequences to not paying, people are just can be complacent sometime, right? So if there are people, and I feel like this lady, like if you haven't paid your mortgage in a year, in 2 years, and nothing has happened, right? There's been no consequences. They haven't foreclosed on you. Your house hasn't gone up for auction. What makes you think this time your house is going to go up for auction, right? You ain't been up for auction. You ain't paid. And then this time, but let me tell you, it run out. It all run out, right? It's like what your mama and your grandmama say, like, baby, it always run out. The bill always come due. It always comes due, right? So, and I think that's gonna be our biggest issue in 2025. Baby, that bill is about to come due. And people are not expecting it. There's no more COVID money. You can't go back into forbearance. You can't go back into modification. You can't refinance. You can't do all of that. You can't do any of that. So now at this point, you got to file bankruptcy. You got to sell, or your house going up for auction, or you're going to lose your house. So that's the consequences now of where we are. Part 3, he can't get another for it, right? Part 4, a bankruptcy is only kicking the can down the road, correct? And they'll eventually foreclose. He's at the home for, so he got plenty equity. You know what I mean? A lot of times I think when I talk to homeowners, first of all, lead with love, right? Lead with love. Lead with love, everybody. Lead with love, okay? That's our community. That is our community motto. Lead with love, right? But sometimes you have to let people, I don't know. And you're right. Bankruptcy is just kicking the can, right? Maybe, like a lot of times when I talk to people and I built that trust, I'll say, would you like me to send you what homes are selling for over there? Just as an option. I lay out all the options, right? I'm going to give you all your options and I'm going to let you make a decision. I don't ever say you need to sell, right? That's not what I say. I say at this point in foreclosure, these are your options right now, right? You can file bankruptcy, but keep in mind, bankruptcy comes with a payment. Keep that in mind. You can sell your house, right? You can sell your house, stay in control, probably set your closing date. We can talk to the mortgage company and let them know you're selling, and probably get that auction date extended on your terms. You walk away with some money, right? You have some money, and you don't have that foreclosure sitting on your credit, right? Or it can go up for auction, right? And I tell people, keep in mind your auction date is not your move out date, right? If your house goes up for auction in the morning, you don't have to move out in the morning. It's still a process, even if your house goes up for auction. So I just lay all your options out, right? And then you let them come to a decision on, and I can help you with any of those options, honestly. So, but you got to let people get there, right? And the closer the auction gets, more people are texting them, more people are calling them, cars are driving by their house real slow because their house is going up for auction. So now the investors, the vultures are circling, trying to estimate repairs. Do I want this house? Is somebody living in the house? And they see this, they see people driving by their house slow. Some investors are very bold, right? I know investors that get out of the car and walk around the house, right? Knowing people live in there. Just, it's sometimes, you're trying to do your own due diligence before you buy it at the auction. And sometimes it's an intimidation strategy, right? And then if somebody's there, the homeowner might come out and they might say, hey, I can buy this from you before it goes up for auction. Or so but you have to let people come to their own decision. And the closer it gets to auction, the more they're getting bombarded by people. Actually, I think people believe they can live for free forever. But it all runs out. It all runs out, you guys. The water runs dry. The well runs dry. It will. It come due. The chickens come home to roost. That bill gonna come due. you know And sometimes it comes when you least expect it, right? And you know how it is. After you like spent money and then the bill come due, then you start looking back over your life, right? And you like, dang, when I bought this, I should have been paying for this. Or the money I spent on this, I could have put it towards my mortgage. You know what I mean? Or I could have saved it. But it's reactive, right? We need to be more proactive. Y'all know what I'm saying? We start coming up with solutions and what we should have done at the end, right? Once something happens. So, yeah. So for you, yeah, the only option is bankruptcy, sell it, or go to auction. That's the only, when you get to that point. Um, so yeah. So you guys, I started talking. Look, I done started talking. Let me do an introduction in case you are new here, you guys. As you can see, like if we're doing a vlogmas and I come on here and go live, y'all gonna get me on the couch sometimes, okay? Um, I'm Ashley Pickens, you guys. I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee. I've been in real estate since 2006. I got in real estate in 2006, you guys. I was 21. I was 21 years old. Y'all can do the math. Um, 21 in 2006. I became a broker. I got my broker's license after that. Then I was over a firm. But most of y'all know me because I'm an auctioneer. I say going once, going twice, sold at the courthouse here in Shelby County, all through Tennessee, down to Nashville, parts of Mississippi. That is what I do. I'm an auctioneer. I auction off foreclosures. So I'm your auction mama, right? So I try to teach y'all everything that I know about the auction, where to find them, how to bid. Then people started reaching out to me because they knew I was the one auctioning off houses, right? So then people were kind of like, my brother is in foreclosure, Ashley. Can you help him? I'm like, yeah, let me figure this out. And then I started figuring it out, right? Like how to keep you from going into foreclosure. And then I started making relationships with, so like United Housing, like I'll go teach like how to save your house, right? Like I know nobody loves to see me coming, right? Because I'm kind of like the Grim Reaper, right? Like if you're doing a home buying class and you're learning about how to buy your first home, and here I come talking about this is what happens when you can't pay your mortgage. But I also think that's a very important conversation to have, right? If there comes a point, because life be lifing, life be lifing, right? And life can come so quick. COVID, an illness, death, you lose your job, you get divorced, and you can't pay your mortgage anymore. And you're like, what do? We talk so much about how to get pre-approved and how much you qualify for, but what happens when you can't pay your mortgage, you know? And some people are just like, I'm just going to walk away. I'm like, you got options. You got options, right? Y'all, I'm sitting here. I hope the camera isn't shaky. So I kind of try to educate on your options, right? And I also help investors, you know, pick up the distressed market properties. So that is what I do. Um, and I try to do it for free. you know, I try not to gatekeep. I try to do it for free because I know a whole bunch of people are already busting y'all's heads on every single thing, right? So at least I can share some information for free because I know some of y'all are just starting out, You're on REOs because of me. Yay! Thank you. I think I'll pass on auction. I'm gonna think look, auctions ain't for everybody. I always say that. Everybody's pockets can't afford auctions, and everybody's blood pressure is not for auctions, right? It's just not for everybody, right? Um, Auctions are for, and we'll talk about that today. Auctions, you gotta have cash, right? When you come see me at the courthouse, you got to have certified funds, right? it's, the, it's the blood pressure for a lot of people, right? Um, you got to have certified funds when you come see me, right? And that's why I say it could be $500, it could be $500,000. You got to have certified funds, cashier's check in the complete amount. So if you win the bid for $500,000, I need all your coins right there. And everybody don't have coins like that. Everybody does not have that kind of liquid cash in their bank account. So auctions are not for everybody. Also, when it comes to auctions, I feel like I'm just not clear, but it's okay. If y'all say I'm clear and you can hear me, we're gonna roll with it. Auctions, you're buying blind, bidding blind, you guys. Let me show you. You're bidding blind. That's not for everybody either. I always ask on Facebook, or I do like a little poll on my stories on Instagram, and I always say, would you buy a house blind? Would you buy a house that you can't see the inside of? And I'm asking y'all, would y'all buy a house that you cannot see the inside of? Type it in the chat. I think you got to be a subscriber to chat, because y'all know I be getting them like crazy trolls. And so now you got to be a subscriber. So if you don't want to subscribe, that's okay. But to those who have subscribed, would you buy a house that you cannot see the inside of? Look at Mary. Mary was quick with her no. Mary said no. Depends on the location. Depends on the location. No. And it's so funny. Look at y'all. No. In my stories, when I do a poll, most people are like, heck no. Heck with 2 L's. No. Heck no. I'm not buying a house I can't see the inside of. Most people won't say that. Now you get your investors. That's when the seasoned investors, right? I would not say auctions are a place for a beginner investor. That is just not where you need to start. If you like, I'm gonna invest in real estate. Auctions are not the first place I say go, right? Because it's just too much risk. It's high risk, right? Now, my investors that know cost and construction and repairs, if I was more well versed in the industry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Seasoned, right? I have investors who, you know what I mean? You can look at a property, run the numbers on it. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. If I got to rehab it, it's going to cost me what? Like however much each bathroom going to be about $5,000. If I got to redo the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? They know these numbers, right? Even if it's horrible on the inside, I know I'm going to spend this much money, right? Or they know at what price they got to get it at in order to make money or make a profit off of. But they know those numbers, right? And they probably got a team and contractors and they're getting the work done for cheap. So they're like, okay. And they know the eviction process, guys, because keep in mind at the auction, people can still live in that house. People can still live in that house, you guys. If you buy a house with people still living in it, you guys, you got to get them out of the house. It's your responsibility at that point. You got to go through the eviction process. You can do cash for keys, right? Send them a letter, lead with love, do what you got to do. If they don't bite for cash for keys, you got to go to court and pay eviction fees. Go to court, get them evicted, go through the process, all that kind of stuff. Again, that's not for everybody. You know what I mean? That would turn you off, actually. If you were a new investor, went to the auction, people living in the house, you'd be like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. Real estate is not for me. That would literally turn people off. So the auction is not for everybody. The guys who are at the auction with me have been coming down there for years, you guys, years. So, and they know the court process. They know what to file. You know what I mean? They know all of that. So auctions, know your lane. You know what I mean? Know your strengths and know your weaknesses is what I would say. Now, a lot of people who are like, I want to go to the auction, end up either working with people in pre-foreclosure, like going to the homeowner directly, right? That's a lot of times what I do. You and or pay them exactly cash for keys, or you got to evict them. So a lot of people will be like, okay, auctions are not for me. I don't want to pay cash. I don't want to bid up. I don't want to buy a property blind. So they'll start talking to the homeowner, right? Because all the way up into the auction, the homeowner is the decision maker. The homeowner still owns that house. Like Bay Area real estate said, if I send a letter to a homeowner and they reach back out to me and they're in foreclosure, I can negotiate with that homeowner, right? It's like a traditional sale. It's like they're selling for sale by owner. I can send them a contract. I can see the inside of that house. I'm be like, if you're willing to sell, can I come walk around and look around? You can use traditional financing, you guys. It's just like buying you're talking to the homeowner, right? You can use the FHA. You can go conventional. You can get hard money. Y'all have a contract. You can walk in the house, right? You know what I mean? Like, you have that due diligence. You have more of a cushion, more of a peace of mind when you deal directly with that homeowner, is what I'm saying. So that's a better route for a lot of people, right? And their attitude probably gonna be better. You know what I mean? If you're talking to them directly, when do you want to be out? You need 30 days. Okay, I'll give you time to pack. You want me to bring you some boxes? I got some bubble wrap. I'll bring you some cookies. What you want me to bring? Right? Instead of knocking on their door being like, I just bought your house at the auction. You got to move. They might burn the whole place down. They gonna set the thing on fire. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a different ball game, but you got to know your lane. Know your lane. So you could get them in that pre-foreclosure phase where that before the auction, or you can get them like if the house goes up for auction and doesn't sell, then it becomes an REO, bank owned property, and you can get it bank owned, right? The cheapest, everybody's like, where's the cheapest? Pre-foreclosure, auctions, or REOs? Which one are you going to get the better deal on? I think it's definitely not going to be, I think it depends. I think auctions you can get cheaper, but if it gets bid up and it needs repairs and you can't see the inside of it, because the auction is the loan balance, right? It's the opening bid is the loan balance, right? So if they've owned it like your guy for 30 years, that opening bid might be $60,000, right? If you talk to the homeowner, they're gonna be like, I need some, run me my coins. They like, the loan, my payoff might be 60,000, but I want you to give me 100 for it. You know what I mean? Like, but you don't have to, you're not bidding with somebody if you talk directly to the homeowner, basically. You know what I mean? I think you just have to know. REO, bank owned, the bank has got to put commission in it. The bank has got to put, you know, their fees on top of it. From Paris, welcome. You know what I mean? It just depends. But I feel like at any phase, you can jump in. Pre-foreclosures, auctions, or REOs. You just got to pick which one works for you and master your lane. You know what I mean? That's why I tell y'all, make offers. Go on these sites. Let's look at, are we talking auctions today? We're supposed to be talking auctions, right? Did y'all see the article I posted? Y'all know I jump all over the place. Welcome, everybody. Y'all know I like to know where you're from. Paris. I see Paris. Welcome. Bonjour. Y'all like, Ashley, stop. Oh, confrere, contraire, mon frere. Ashley, know your strengths. Know your strengths, Ashley, and that is not one of them. Bonjour. Article that I posted in my stories, what pre-foreclosures are up 34% in California. Atlanta, did you go to the auction? Look, if you enjoyed, did you go to the auction yesterday? There's only one acceptable answer to that question. Did you go to, I always tell y'all, just go down there and see what it's like. See what it's like. You might make some friends. I know. If we're doing a vlogmas, you guys, I saw that, Carl. If we're doing a vlogmas, y'all gonna let me be on my couch, okay? With my blanket, with the heat directed on me, like an old lady, y'all, like an old lady. But that's okay. Y'all don't mind. Y'all just came to get this information, right? So I'm gonna share my screen really quickly. Realty track. Blink if you can see my screen. Blink if you can see my screen. And if y'all don't mind me, Tarrant County auction is crazy. Is it a whole bunch of people? Y'all know I try to see. I only know like Tennessee, Mississippi. So some of y'all like in Chicago and Atlanta, when y'all send me pictures in Detroit, I'm like, okay, that's what it looks like there. I need to get them to send me like different places. In 2025, I'm gonna be like, send me to Georgia, send me to Miami, so I can auction in Miami. Send me to Texas. So I saw this on, okay, thank you for blinking. I clicked on resources. This is realtytrack.com. I clicked on market reports and boom, the first thing that popped up. Oh, look at this. I didn't even see this, you guys. Look at this. Okay, hold on. So California, I didn't see it had all the little states over there. California pre-foreclosure crisis deepens with 34% monthly spike. California grapples with 34 increase in pre-foreclosures, 3,267 properties from August to September. Now, I mean, when it comes to California, Texas, these big states, they're going to have a lot of foreclosure because they're a big state, right? Highland income pack of standing waste, blah, 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 blah. The shadow over, but you know, California, y'all's house is high, taxes high, life is high in California. You know what I mean? And then they added that tax for like, what was a special tax they added? If your house cost over a certain amount, you got to pay a tax. You know, like, ooh, the shadow over California, exploring the pre-foreclosure crisis. Let's see, hold on. Recent data reveals that as of September, California grapples with the 3,267 properties in pre-foreclosure. The burden is heavy on homeowners. The load is heavy on homeowners. Slow recovery. Look, you know I'm trying to skim decade-long trends and economic echoes. Okay, I'm going to drop this in the chat so y'all can read it before y'all go to bed tonight, okay? Read it before y'all go to bed. Are you going to be at Shelby County? Yes, I do work at the county courthouse in Shelby County. I do. Usually on Fridays is when Memphis has their is 3 months of non-payment on FHA for foreclosure. Usually, the typical um Mike, usually when a homeowner gets behind on their mortgage, 3 months, 3 months is usually when that bank will file that notice of default, right? But lately the banks have just not been doing that, like since COVID, right? He just said, hold on, not he, I'm sorry. You know who I'm talking about. Bay Area Real Estate Today said that his guy hadn't paid since 2018. I talked to people who hadn't paid in 2, 3 years since COVID. So, but typically, yes, to answer your question, because I always take the long route to answer a question. 3 months of non-payment usually kicks you into the foreclosure process. Just depends on your lender. Okay. And it also depends on if you live in a judicial state or non-judicial state. Judicial state means you can go to court. You got it, like it's a process if you live in a judicial state. Florida, who else judicial? New Jersey. It's a lot of, I live in Tennessee. We non-judicial. Baby, once they file that foreclosure notice on you, they will take your house in 30 days here in Shelby County. Also, I do trustee sales. So there is no right of redemption on trustee sales. Okay. So if I auction off your house, you can't get it back. And a lot of times, like Georgia, there are redemption periods. There's no redemption period. Trustee sales, Shelby County, Memphis, because they don't care about us. They don't care. They'll take your house and keep it pushing. If you catch a pre-foreclosure, can you assume their loan if it's FHA and a good rate? I think you can, but I think, because I've heard people, because I know that's kind of like assuming subject to, I always try to think that through, right? So if you were to assume it, you would have to catch it up, right? You got to catch up that past due balance that they owe. So catch it up. I don't know if that homeowner's, I'm not familiar with like subject to and assuming, but if we're just talking about assuming the real estate way, right? Just the real, because subject to is assuming without the bank. The technical assuming way is you take over that loan. So you would have to catch up that past due balance and get them back on good standing and then qualify for that loan. But yeah, you can absolutely do that, especially if they got a good rate and the bank agrees. Subject to is where you deal with the homeowner. You basically assume it, but you don't go through the bank. You go through the homeowner, which would be a little tricky, right? And first of all, I just don't know subject to like that, right? That's not my lane. But I guess you could catch up the mortgage if you're in foreclosure. That's going to be the main thing. You got to get them out of foreclosure, catch up that past due amount, and then do the subject to, I guess, right? I'm not, like I said, I don't know. I think my thing with subject to is like when you do subject to, do you put your name on the deed? Because I'm like, look, if I'm catching up your mortgage, my name needs to be on that deed. And I need the mortgage login so I can make sure this mortgage getting paid. You know what I mean? So but I hope that answered your question. But yes, you just got to get them out of foreclosure. Every Friday this December, I volunteer to hold the. Got it. I'll keep that in mind because you're right. Everybody wants to see me auction, and I can't hold the camera and auction, and you know what I mean. Yes, thank you, you guys. Y'all are so kind. Thank you. I mean, I guess I could set up a tripod, but the guys down there are going to be like, Ashley, really? They already be mad that I come on here and talk to y'all and tell y'all all about auctions. I know they're like, Ashley, stop telling everybody. But here I am, nevertheless, right? Still trying to teach y'all how to go to the auction. So there you go on subject to. Now, back to what we were talking about. I just noticed this, you guys. Did you see that it had other states on the side? Not that I'm going to read all of them, but I think y'all should try to take a look. Blink if my screen changed. I think it did. Blink if my screen changed. Let's go back. Because look, here we go. Denver, pre-foreclosures rise by 19%. Denver is up. Boom. Who else is up? Chicago, Pre-foreclosures, okay, they fall 19%. Well, okay, Cook County, y'all know that's where I was born, in the Chi. Comparison of pre-foreclosure trends in Aurora. There's no good way to say Aurora. Naperville, Joliet, and Rockford. And then y'all go ahead and read. I dropped the link in the chat. If you're watching the replay, it's realtytrack.com. I just clicked on resources and went to market reports, and it popped up immediately. Okay. So Colorado, California, what does it say? Texas housing relief. July 2024 pre-foreclosure properties plunged 38. I don't believe that, but okay. Because Texas be right at the top, you guys. Texas, they say watch Houston, watch San Antonio. That's what I was saying, you guys. When it comes to articles, it's such a discrepancy everywhere you look. Like some places, Texas foreclosures down, other places, San Antonio, Houston. It's just such a discrepancy when it comes to information. I'm like, where y'all pulling y'all's documents from? So you just have to be very mindful of that. I'm going to look. I just posted a video about this. This is Adam. Y'all know I follow them. Do I believe every article they put out? Do I take any of these numbers for gold? I don't. I don't take any numbers for gold. I don't take anything that the news says for gold. You know what I mean? You just have to, I was going to say lean on your own understanding, but you're not supposed to do that either. So, So real quick, let's look at this, and then we can talk auctions. Okay, you guys? I know that's what we're supposed to be talking about anyway, but you know how I do. So blink if you can see my screen. I believe you can. Foreclosure rates. I'm waiting for the newest article to come out for November. It should be out next week, and then we can go over this again. Let's see. Housing units with foreclosure filings with the most. We got Bakersfield, California, Chico, California, Stockton, California, and Lakeland, Florida. Those are the smaller cities. Cities greater than 1 million with the worst foreclosure rates. Riverside, California. See, that's why Realty Track just put that article out, because California is 34%. And these are the cities. Stockton, Chico. Everybody knows Stockton got hit real hard. They said that was like the epicenter of the last crash in 2008. Stockton, California got hit real hard. Riverside, California, Cleveland, Ohio, Fresno, California, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Las Vegas, Nevada. If you live in there, y'all need to keep your eye on the foreclosures, you guys. Keep your eyes on the price. Lenders started the foreclosure process, me and my highlighter. Lenders started the foreclosure process on 20,000 properties in October. States that had the greatest number of foreclosure starts included California with 2,900, Texas 22, Florida with 2,200, New York with 1,100, and Michigan with 1,000. If we had to do cities, New York City, Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Illinois. See how Chicago is at the top of this list, but it's saying Chicago had a DC. That's what I'm saying. See, got to read for understanding. New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami, and Houston, Texas. Boom. These are brand new foreclosures. These are, I've said this before, if you understand, real numbers, you got to multiply by 2. Foreclosure, the phases of foreclosure, 3 main phases. If you're new here, if you're not new here, then you already know them. The first phase, that is when I lost my whole train of thought. The notice of default is filed. I lost my whole train of thought. 3 phases of foreclosure. When a homeowner gets behind 3 months or more, they file that notice of default. That is the first filing. So when I just read that article about foreclosure starts, that's what they're talking about. They filed that first notice. The second phase is their auction is scheduled. Second phase. third phase, the bank repossesses that property. Those are the three main phases or filings when it comes to foreclosure. People can go through this process, well, at least the first two, plenty of times. They get behind, the bank files that notice, okay? Notice of foreclosure. Auction is scheduled, they file bankruptcy. Boom, stops the foreclosure. They go through bankruptcy for about 3 months, get behind on their mortgage again. Boom, they file that foreclosure again. Auction gets scheduled. They could, I don't know, decide to sell it and it doesn't work out. They can try to refinance it. They can try to do a modification. All that stops it, stops the foreclosure. That doesn't work out. Get behind again. And here we are back in foreclosure again. I remember back in 2008, it was like 1 million properties were in foreclosure with 2 million filings on them. And I'm like, how can 1 million properties have 2 million filings? Because they was going through the process 3 and 4 times. And so their houses had plenty of foreclosure filings on them. So that's how that can happen. Just so you look, because I'm gonna try to teach you. You're gonna learn today from me. So that's the process of foreclosure. Okay. Okay, class, look at that. Y'all learning something new today on this good Wednesday. This good Wednesday, y'all gonna learn today. So let's back class. So screen back up, baby. This is like a little mini master class y'all are getting on these 12 days of Christmas. A little mini. I hope y'all got your notes. So foreclosure completion, you guys. What is that called? The last phase of foreclosure, when that house goes up for auction and does not sell, it is an REO. That is the last phase of foreclosure. Lenders repossessed. Boom. 2,938. That means they took it back. That means it's an REO, bank owned property. Up 12%. States that had the greatest number of REOs included California, Illinois, Texas, New York, and Florida. If we had to pinpoint some cities, that would be Chicago. See, that's what I'm saying. Look at Chicago on the high list, but on Realty Track, Chicago was on the low list. You know what I mean? Chicago, New York City, Los Angeles, Detroit, and San Antonio. They said San Antonio is going to be a hot spot for foreclosures. So if you're living in Texas, that's all I'm going to say. Keep your eyes on San Antonio for sure, for sure. Spartanburg, you know y'all stay on the list. I'm surprised y'all weren't on the list this time. Spartanburg, South Carolina stays on the list. Let me see. What's going on in Spartanburg? Do y'all have like a lot of y'all's taxes high? Let me see if Spartanburg, because Spartanburg is usually on the list. That's Q3. New York, Delaware, South Carolina. See high foreclosure rates. Columbia, Macon, Georgia. I know y'all like, Ashley, what did you just click on? I just went back a little further to a different article. That's all. Provo, Utah, Lakeland, Florida, Macon, Georgia, Columbia, South Carolina, Atlantic City, New Jersey. So yes, here's the article, you guys. I'll drop it in the chat if y'all want to read it before you go to bed. Spartanburg makes BMWs, but that tricky thing out there, Zillow ain't got Spartanburg. Okay, I didn't know Spartanburg made BMWs. You know, AI finna come take over all that. They had that article with the robots building BMWs in the BMW plant. There go a lot of jobs right there. There go a lot of jobs anyway in the next 5 to 10 years. That's why we have to stay focused, everybody. Stay focused. So, and get the real estate coins. Auctions is what we're supposed to be talking about in there. When it comes to auctions, you guys, auction.com is a great site. Everybody's always like, Ashley, I can't find auctions. Auction.com is a great site. Do y'all want to learn about, hold on, first of all, let me ask the class. Let me ask y'all, do y'all want to learn about auctions today? Do you want me to talk about pre-foreclosures or do you want me to talk about REO properties? What do y'all want me to talk about? I can talk about all of them. Look, I got my little headphones, you guys. I know I've been cold calling. I hope y'all have been cold calling. Do y'all want to learn about auctions, or do you want to learn about pre-foreclosure? Because I feel like a lot of y'all are trying to steer away from auctions, but I kind of try to teach y'all that too, you know? But for the people who are watching the replay who do want to learn about auctions, auction.com is a great site. You can get bank owned. They do have bank owned properties and foreclosures, which are auctions. Basically, you just filter it by whatever you like. So if we were going to do Chicago, I'll wait for your response in the chat about what y'all really want to talk about. And you go to asset type, you can put in bank owned, foreclosure, private seller. You can also put in, hold on, where's what I'm trying to find? Eligible for financing. Look at that. I know a lot of times you got to have cash, but on auction.com, there is a spot under condition, and you can click on eligible for financing, and then you can use traditional financing, FHA, conventional, all that kind of stuff. Okay, you guys? So keep that in mind. But here are some foreclosure. If it's bank owned, a lot of times you can bid online. If you have it filtered by foreclosure, I always have it filtered by foreclosure, then you have to usually go in person a lot of times. That's still bank owned. Where's foreclosure? And like I said, you guys, a lot of times during December, they won't foreclose on people. It's a holiday moratorium where they won't foreclose on people. So keep that in mind. A lot of homeowners don't even know that, but it's true. All of it. All of it. Pre-foreclosures. I know that's what y'all want to talk about. I knew that. Look, I knew that. I already knew. I already knew what y'all wanted to talk about. I know that's what everybody always want to talk about. But I get it, right? If you don't have cash and you can't go to the auction, how do you get some coins right now? Right? Let's talk about what we can do right now. I got you though. I got you. I'm so glad y'all learned. Are the people usually out of the house with REO? Yes. Because once the bank take it over, the bank goes through that eviction process with them, gets them out of that house. You know, they'll assign like an agent to that property to go key it, do everything like that to it, and people are out of house. With REO properties, bank owned properties, you can also use traditional financing. I'm about to share my screen. Let me just answer this question on this though, you guys. That's what I'm saying. Y'all need to make some offers on these bank owned properties. REO, real estate owned by the bank. Good websites are HUD home stores. So yes, once the bank takes it over, right, that title is usually clear too, which unlike at the auction, you can buy a bad title at the auction. Once the bank takes it over, boom, you can get an inspection, you can use financing, you can negotiate, that kind of stuff. So yes, I know you asked me that one question and it took me 30 minutes to answer it. But the answer is yes. When the bank owns it, they out the house. Is that a short sale? What? Tell me what you're talking about. Mom's too much is what a short sale. Talk to me. Pre-foreclosures class, because I know REO, short sale. No, 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 no. Let's talk about the difference between a short sale and an REO class. Okay, short sale. The homeowner is still the decision maker. The homeowner is still in the house. If you're doing a short sale, that means the homeowner owes more on that house than what it's worth. They are upside down, they are underwater, whichever term you're familiar with, right? I just did a short sale. They bought that house 2019, refinanced it, which a lot of people did when interest rates went down. They refinanced their house. Interest rates were down. People were in bidding wars, were bidding $30,000 and $40,000. Appraisals were coming in super high, right? Y'all follow me. If you get lost, say, Ashley, I'm lost. Explain that again. So they refinanced that house, pulled the money out. They had an appraisal done. That appraisal came in like they bought the house. Example, we're just going to use an example. 2019, they paid 498 for the house. 2021, they refinanced it and pulled some money out, and that appraisal came in at 560. So they bought it at 490. Appraisal came in at 560. They pulled that cash out. Now they owe the bank $560,000. Okay. Fast forward to 2024. The market has cooled off. Interest rates are high. Ain't nobody buying. Houses are sitting on the market and the home values are coming down. Okay. So they owe the bank 560. Everybody in their neighborhood selling for 480, forfeit what they originally paid on that house, right? But they owe the bank 560. Okay. Now they can't afford the mortgage. Now they in foreclosure. They call me, Ashley, I want to sell the house. How much do you owe? 560. Ain't nothing in this neighborhood selling for 560. The last comp that came in, the market is slow. The last house that sold in your neighborhood sold for 475. I can't get you 560, right? So now let's talk to the bank and let's try to short sale, right? He's still the owner. I'm in foreclosure. I owe more on my house than it's worth. Okay? Y'all with me at this point. But if I sell it, I can't give the bank what I owe them, 560. My neighbor just sold for 475. So now you call me or you call your agent and you're like, I need to talk to the bank. I need to try to initiate a short sale, which means I'm going to give the bank some money, but I can't give them all they owe. We about to short the bank. The bank gonna come up short on their money, right? So the homeowner basically, the homeowner is still in charge and they're trying to give the bank less than what they owe on it, but the bank has to agree to a price. So my guy owed 560. Hear me, 560. The bank agreed to 357. 357. 357. He owed the bank 560. That was a good ASS deal for that buyer. That buyer got that house for a steal. Surprised me. Surprised me. That's a short sale where the homeowner goes to closing, signs, boom. Homeowner is still decision maker. REO, homeowner in foreclosure, house goes up for auction. House goes up for auction, does not sell at auction, and the bank takes that house back. Now the bank is the decision maker. It is a bank-owned house. That's an REO. Short sale, homeowner, REO, bank owns the home. Everybody clear on that? I hope I made that super clear for everybody. Okay. So with a short sale, that homeowner not gonna get any money. Ain't no money to get. The bank is just like, you better be glad we letting it go at this price and not foreclosing on you. Okay. The bank will pay your commission. So agents used to make a killing in 2008 on short sales. If you know how to do them, it's a process. They take a long time. Most agents not trying to fool with short sales. But if you know how to do it, the bank paid full commission on that bank, even though the homeowner didn't have any money to pay. Keep in mind, when a homeowner sells their property, usually the commission comes out of the seller's side. The seller proceeds. On a short sale, the bank pays your commission. Okay. When you send over paperwork, you got to include your commission and see if the bank will agree to it. REO properties, they pay commission too. Bank's gonna pay commission on that too. Bank owns it, they're gonna pay commission. Okay. So you can get paid either way if you are an agent. So I hope that made sense to everybody, the difference between a short sale and an REO. Y'all gonna learn today. Y'all gonna learn today. So y'all just had a lesson class on short sales and REOs. So let's go back to what I was talking about. REO and pre-foreclosures, right? If we had time. So REO, really good sites. HUD Home Store. These are bank-owned properties. So HUDhomestore.gov. Here it is. You can put in If I was y'all, I would be submitting offers on these price. Look at that. Price reduced. They want 170. Look, see if they'll take 100. See if they'll take 90. It's the end of the year. These banks got to move these properties. Y'all make some offers. Honestly, just look. At least figure out the negotiation, the contract process, right? A lot of times, you got to be pre-act. Is that the word I'm looking for? Proactive. Proactive, right? You see a house and you're like, "Ooh, I want it." Okay, how do you submit an offer? I don't know. Start figuring out how to submit offers. What paperwork do I need to have in order? What do I need to send over? Do I need to have an agent? Do I need to register? What information do they need to see for me to submit an offer? Instead of y'all waiting till the last minute and like the bid closed tonight at 6 o'clock. Well, if you knew how to submit an offer, you could do that, right? So go on these sites and figure them out, okay? And if you got some coins or you're trying to get some deals to help you with taxes, then make some offers. Lowball the banks. HUDhomestore.gov, homepath.com. That is Fannie Mae's site. Homepath. If you are watching the replay, home, HOME, path, PATH. It looks like .fanniemae.com. Same thing. You can put in, you got to figure out how to submit you an offer. Put in wherever you live. The houses will pop up. Can we get, there we go. I'm like, can we get some? Look, price reduced by what, $2,000. Go make it $529. They reduced it to $509. Y'all, it's the bank. Listen to me. Hold on. Listen to me. It's the bank. They set the price. I just told you. I just shared a true life story with you. My clients owed the bank $560. The bank took $357. Negotiate with the bank, okay? That's, you hear me. Y'all hear me. That's what you should do. Submit an offer. If you got an agent that's saying, "I don't want to submit that offer, it's too low," you say submit it anyway. Do it anyway. If they reject it, let them reject it. They might come back and counter it, but submit my offer anyway. Okay? Everybody understand that? Because sometimes I'm an agent. Sometimes agents will be like, they're going to reject it. Submit my offer anyway. Tell them I go on HomePath and HUD Home Store and everything is price reduced. So submit my offer. It's the end of the year. I know these banks trying to move off of properties. Everything is price reduced over here. Submit my offer. Shoot, it's not your house. You know what I mean? Price reduced. Price reduced. Look at that. Price reduced. Y'all go on these sites and make some offers to these people. Let's see. So that's HomePath, homesteps.com. That's Freddie Mac's REO bank-owned sites. Go on here. Sometimes there might not be anything on it, honestly, in your city, but bookmark the sites. So, when stuff does come up, why doesn't it find a home? Chicago. Accept. Here we go. Active, So Homesteps, HOMESTEPS.com. Go on here. Again, if your city, if they don't have anything for your city, bookmark it and just check back in the new year. For sure. Okay, so Homesteps, HomePath, HUD Home Store. I'm making sure y'all can see my screen because, I'll get to talking and the screen don't even change. You know me. You got a site to have that formal offer form for, North Carolina, maybe. Carol, tell me what you're saying. I'd be trying to figure it out. VRM properties. That's VA, Veteran Bank Owned Properties. V as in Victor, R as in Red, M as in Mama for Auction Mama. Properties.com. And these are all VA bank owned properties. Florida. Is it on the beach? Y'all know I'm looking for my beach house for $22.13 right on the beach. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. There's North Las Vegas. So coming soon properties. Whoop, 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 whoop. Fort Worth, Texas. And then you can click view more listings. See, create an account. So make sure y'all know how to submit these offers. So if you see something, if you see your dream home, an investment home, a vacation home, you know what I mean? Then you can know exactly how the process works. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, is what I'm saying. So I just clicked on Florida. Let's see if they got anything for $19.73. Not seeing anything today. The offers must be submitted on a standard format. I believe so, but sometimes these banks have forms that they like to use. You know, like if you're doing a relocation. When I did a short sale, they had forms that they wanted to use. That's why I'm saying go on here, go to these sites and see how you can submit what they're looking for. Like you got to sign in, how to make an offer, you register. You are able to provide the listing agent a bona fide offer through our online offer management system, which they will review and respond to. See what I'm saying? You search properties, step 2. Step 3, make an offer. As a buyer, simply fill out the contact form and we will connect you with the listing agent to ensure your offer. So yeah, with bank owned, they have like a listing agent. Usually, y'all know I listed an REO. Yeah, so I was the agent for the bank, right? So just go on here, figure out how you have to make that offer. Tell the agent this is what it is. Submit my offer. They're like, that's too low. Say, let the bank tell me it's too low. Submit my offer. Thanks. That's what you say. And so those are REO sites. REO sites. I was trying to think of any other. I showed you auction.com. If we're talking commercial real estate, that is CREXI, commercial real estate. They have auctions. They have properties that are in foreclosure, auction properties that they're trying to get off of. CREXI is the name of this site. Sale, lease, auctions. It's commercial, retail, multifamily, office, industrial, hospitality, mixed use, land, self-storage, mobile home, senior living, special purpose. You can buy the note, you can buy the loan. Businesses for sale. Somebody trying to sell their business. So CREXI, 10X is a good commercial site if you're not familiar with it. They have all kinds of property types on here. Yeah, it's going to be good for commercial. If you are an investor and have a plan for your commercial property, you'll be able to get a good deal on a commercial property because everybody about to lose them. But make sure you got a plan so you don't be about to lose it. You know what I mean? But if you got a plan, or if you have a business or need an office space, you can get a good deal here shortly. So they have office, multifamily, retail, hotel, industrial, other. So 10x.com, 10ten-x.com. Boom. It's another good site. Everybody with me. Everybody with me. Former dormitory ready for full renovation. They auction off the college campus dorms. It's always interesting just to look and see. You know what I mean? Receiver sale, the cottages on campus. Multifamily near Interstate 55. Okay, y'all know me. I get distracted sometimes. It's just interesting to see the buildings that are going up for auction. Y'all can have you a little movie theater conversion opportunity. Okay, well, okay. Near University. Okay. So those are some sites for commercial, single family, all those kind of things. Bookmark them, get familiar with them. Whoop, there it is. So let's talk about, I'll take a few minutes and let's talk about pre-foreclosures. A lot of people want to know about pre-foreclosures. Yes, I market to pre-foreclosures. These are the homeowners that are in foreclosure And most of the time when you market to them, you would like them to sell to you before they go up for auction. Am I correct, class? That is what you are hoping for. You are trying to skip the auction and you are hoping that they will sell their property to you before it goes into foreclosure and before it goes up for auction, right? These are usually motivated or distressed homeowners. Okay, so I'll be trying to come up with the best way to go through this without confusing you. Let's do just a couple of sites where you can find pre-foreclosures. These are people, hold on, let me share my screen. I want to make it so you understand it. People who are behind on their mortgage, people who have an auction scheduled, right? So that would be, you need to find public notices where people are in foreclosure or they have an auction scheduled. So a lot of times you can just put in like the county, Shelby County public notice, because you're like, how do I find it in my area? Couple ways. You can do Shelby County public notice and try to find a public notice. The way I try to teach y'all is to find the foreclosure attorneys, right? Find the foreclosure or the trustee attorneys. Two ways. I'm going to show you two ways that I find them. If we're doing, just do Chicago, Illinois. I'm on auction.com. Auction.com. If you are trying to find the foreclosure attorneys and the trustees, okay? Because these people have the pre-foreclosures. These are the people who are going to schedule their auction, okay? If you can find them, a lot of times you can find the properties ahead of time. I would go to foreclosure homes. I'm on auction.com, put in whatever city, county, state, parish that you live in, because y'all be getting on me about these parishes. Click on a foreclosure sale. This one's foreclosure. Scroll on down. And right here where it says foreclosure contact info, Potestivo and Associates, foreclosure contact. I would probably Google them, put their address, boom, in Google, and that is a foreclosure attorney or trustee. Y'all with me? Boom. Blink if you're with me. Holler if you hear me. Okay? That's one way. Go to auction.com, click on foreclosure contact, boom. And you just have to do it for a couple of properties until you get a couple of names of attorneys or trustees and then bookmark them. Okay? PropWire. Y'all are familiar with PropWire. We talked about it a little bit yesterday. It is free, $99. PropStream is $99. PropWire is free. So wherever you live, if you live in, let's say, Detroit, Michigan, right? On PropWire, you can filter it by city, state, zip code, anything, address, city, county, state. I put in Detroit, Michigan. I would click on lead types. This is propwire.com. Just sign up. It is free and you can start working immediately. So I put in Detroit. I scrolled down to pre-foreclosures and then it filtered 187 results for me. Okay. We're looking for foreclosure attorneys and trustees. I would scroll all the way down. Scroll all the way down, friends and family. Keep on scrolling and keep on scrolling. Here are the foreclosure details. I would scroll down and they don't have the attorney posted. Of course they don't. Let's go to the next one. Detroit, what's up, Detroit? Where are your trustee and sales people? Hold on. Okay, so Detroit is not, the Motor City is not working with us. Let's do Memphis because that's where I live. Put in Memphis, pre-foreclosures. I got 170. Let's try this again. Scroll all the way down. Don't forget, I filtered it by pre-foreclosures. And there we go. There's the trustee attorney, Mackie Wolf, man. Throw them in Google. Let's see if they got, I don't know if they have. Boom. We're going to try to put them in Google. I don't know if they post theirs. I don't think Mackie posts theirs. So here they are. Service is our team. Texas investor, Tennessee investors. They do have a sale report. Hold on, can y'all see my screen? I don't know if it's changing. It is changing. Hey, Danita. $1,000. Wow, that's why y'all better save your money. Christmas is coming up. Don't go overspending on Christmas. No flat screens. Hashtag no flat screens. So see, they do have sales. Sales coming up. There we go. 1210. And so here are some properties. These are pre-foreclosures. These are pre-foreclosures. Say it in your head because y'all might be at work and you can't say it out loud. These are pre-foreclosures. They have an auction scheduled and they have not been up for auction yet. They are in foreclosure with an auction scheduled. Those are the people that y'all are looking to find. Okay? People in foreclosure with an auction scheduled, or in foreclosure. Maybe they don't have an auction schedule. They just behind on their mortgage. Okay? So that's what I would do. Y'all see I went to PropWire. So go to your city, county, zip, put in pre-foreclosures and try to start a list of your foreclosure attorneys. I always share the ones that I already know. Ruben Lublin, I share him every time. I know Ruben be like, Ashley, get off my website. So I know Ruben has seen a lot of traffic to his website in the last year. They handle Georgia, Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama. So again, we know that Georgia auctions the first Tuesday of the month. So they have auctions already posted for January 7th, the first Tuesday of the year. So here are the addresses. And all of these people are in foreclosure. Wink, 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 wink. Okay, if you're looking for pre-foreclosures in Georgia, these people's auctions are scheduled for January 7th. You have, 30 days to try to call them and talk to them. And if you keep scrolling, don't get dizzy. Don't get dizzy. It's so many January. So many, so many, so many, so many, so many. Boom. There's February. February, you have 60 days to call these people and see if they want to sell their house. Boom. So I'm going to drop this site in the chat. Boom. Hey, Danito, welcome. Ruben, I already gave y'all logs.com from yesterday. They are another foreclosure attorney trustee. They have sales all across the country. If you see a state, bookmark this site. Logs, Logs, Logs.com. You click on those tabs and it will bring up pre-foreclosures in your area. Keep in mind, an auction before it goes up for auction is a pre-foreclosure. Because I think when y'all see the word auction, y'all are like, I can't reach out to them. Yes, you can. As long as their auction date has not come yet, yes, you can. I don't care if the auction is scheduled for next Friday. You can call them and see if they want to sell. Okay, you guys, go on auction.com and see who got an auction scheduled for next week or a week and a half and call them. So next up, I'm just going to give y'all some sites. Logs, Ruben, Brock and Scott. I auction for these people. This is how I know who they are. I auction for them. So Brock and Scott, real estate defaults. Scroll on down. Foreclosure sales. You select state wherever you live. Look at, they do a whole bunch of them. Boom, 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 boom. If I click on Georgia, you can select the county, and then there they are. We got auction scheduled for December 3rd, December 3rd, December 3rd, December 3rd. Oh, those were yesterday auctions. That's right, Georgia. So here's January 7th. Boom. Here's some more. Really quickly, I would tell you guys, because you're like, Ashley, how am I going to reach out to them? How do I find them? You can send them a letter. You can send them a message in a bottle. You can send them a telegram. You can put their address straight in PropWire. What was it? Was it Georgia? I can't even remember what I was looking at, y'all. Mississippi, Rome, Georgia. Mississippi Drive. That's California. Salinas Drive. Are you not popping up for me? I'm sorry, I got my headphones in and I know it was, let's find another one that's an easier address. Columbus Drive. Let's see if we can find them. Put their address right in here. There they are. Look at there, free and clear. I know y'all gonna be like, Ashley, it says free and clear. Why are they in foreclosure? It's a mortgage somewhere. It is a mortgage somewhere on their house. It's a lien. I'm not gonna say mortgage. It's a lien somewhere on that house. If you go to, let's see, history, you might have to log into, see, this don't even have any information. It's a lien somewhere. It's a lien somewhere on their house. And look, it says high equity. But I would click on owner and NE Nelson Properties LLC. Skip trace them for 10 cents. It's going to give you every phone number that they have. You might get an email, and then you reach out to them any way that you want to. Do you know what I mean? Send them a letter in a bottle. That's why your girl has this headset, because I get on the phone and I call them. I get on the phone and I call the people. And I showed you exactly however you want to. And you're going to hit them up in their DMs. Make sure your page is very professional if you reach out to somebody in their DMs, because they're going to look and see who you are and don't have all kinds of foolishness on your social media. You know what I mean? So you can call them, mail them, text them, do whatever you want to do. But that's what I would do. Find your foreclosure attorneys, find the properties, skip trace them, and then do however you decide to reach out to them. Call them. You know, I send letters. You guys, if you need help with a letter, I got a whole bundle of letters for probates and pre-foreclosures. If you want to know my exact way that I market every single method that I use, you can grab the pre-foreclosure blueprint course. Don't forget to use code Friday. Code Friday, you guys. I still have not taken that coupon code off. It's like 40% off everything. 40% off. So y'all know I call, I send letters, I do all the things, you guys. So I hope that helped. I'll be back tomorrow. Welcome to, what do they be saying? No, it's my pleasure. No, it's my pleasure. You don't want pickles? You don't have to have pickles. So, you guys, all I'm saying is do something, because give it the spring. When the spring comes, you guys, the foreclosures are coming. That's all I'm saying. So govern yourselves accordingly. Okay. Y'all have talked for an hour and 14 minutes. I know it does not seem like an hour and 14 minutes because I'm so interesting when I get to talking, and you learn so much. What this would usually take people 6 weeks to teach, I teach all in a matter of an hour and 15 minutes. So this is the accelerated class. Okay. So you guys, if you're watching the replay, welcome. If you need to go back and walk yourself through everything I just said, go back and watch the replay. Okay. The replay will be posted. If you have questions, youragentAshley@gmail.com. I got to call that guy back who got my letter. I got to call him back. So yeah, you guys, if you want to send letters, send them. Lead with love. If you want to call. Lead with love. You know, just do something. That's all I'm saying. Submit offers. Lowball the bank. It's the end of the year. Make some offers. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But okay, you guys, that's all I got. All the resources are down below. Use code Friday. You guys, I'm on Instagram, youragentAshley@gmail.com. I'm on YouTube. Shocker. Right here on YouTube. And that's it, you guys. That's all I got. Unless y'all got some questions. You're right, Danita, because I don't know how to get off. I don't know how to hang up the phone. So on 3, we're all going to hang up. Okay? And I will probably be back tomorrow. And we will talk about some more stuff tomorrow. So make sure you subscribe so you get the alert. Okay, you guys. That's all. I will see you again. Have a good afternoon. Hopefully y'all learned something good, you know? Bye, you guys. Bye, you guys.